I think anyone that knows Laysha knows that she is so effective at connecting with people.
I just remember meeting her and going, who is that woman? Like, I need to know her better. I want to be her friend. I need to learn from her.
Laysha is a we person. So when we're working with Laysha or she's working with anybody, if she's on your team, she's really on your team.
I didn't know one person could be so brilliant, so strategic, so accomplished, so compassionate, so down to earth. Like, all in one person.
My parents were incredible role models. They made really important, difficult choices that set me and my siblings up for success. I think one of the ways that they provided me with such a solid foundation was teaching me about the importance of being of service.
Laysha is at the core a service-oriented leader, where she thinks about the opportunity to serve others, whether it's the community, whether it's the individual, or if it's the organization.
And I believe that being a leader in business also means being a leader in the community. And I have been the beneficiary of working for a company like Target who has that in their DNA.
We are actually a part of communities and people's lives, and we have a responsibility to invest in them. If the community is thriving, the business is thriving.
You know, the Dayton family who founded this company really made it a part of the company's ethos. You do well while doing good.
What Laysha has done is to think about and imagine a way for that big company to do that for the 21st century in a way that is getting at some of the fundamental and systemic inequities and challenges that we face in Minnesota and around the country.
She was a part of really galvanizing CEOs to lean into what can corporations do, you know, to change the trajectory in neighborhoods. After George Floyd was murdered, she led a racial justice committee at Target, and they committed to, you know, a couple $2 billion in the African American community. I've seen African American designers, their things in Target, like even local designers and producers, and so, you know, that has her fingerprints all over it.
Bringing humanity to an organization as large as Target, so 400,000 team members, I think that's a really rare skill.
Laysha has a way, a special way, of listening to where everyone's coming from, being focused on the shared goal, and being a part of a team that helps everybody move in that direction.
I have always approached differences from a vantage point of I can learn something from everyone. And it's important to make sure that you're not just surrounding yourself with people who look like you, act like you, talk like you, or think like you.
Often, it's not, you don't see the kind of diversity and inclusion and engagement that you really need to see if you're going to come up with real solutions. And I love how Laysha goes after that and tries to sort of solve that problem very specifically.
And you can agree to disagree, but you can do that with respect and have a civil discourse and rise above the noise that I think so often is dominating our conversations today.
People are always central to Laysha and those relationships, and it's unique in my experience to have a leader who's really holding all of those things in relationship at the same time, which is absolutely difficult to do.
You know, civic engagement is such the cornerstone of a strong democracy. Each of us can and should play a role in making our community better and making this country better. And it's just, I think, believing that you're worthy, believing that you are capable of making a meaningful contribution.
She is so passionate about everyone having an opportunity to realize their full potential. Everybody.
One of the things that my grandfather always told me is there are no small things, because what might be a small thing to you might be monumental for another person.
But each of these small steps and actions add up to a tremendous wave of impact.
I think Laysha sees part of her job as a leader to pull others in and pull others up. So it's almost like when she's at the table, she's always kind of like, who else needs to be here with us and with me?
I think sometimes we see the person where they are, not where they started, and we don't always appreciate what that winding road was to get there.
When you have the power to make a difference and you figure out how to use that in a way that is true to yourself, then you just, that power of goodness is kind of multiplied. And I think that's what she does.
When somebody actually rolls up their sleeves and stands next to you for the long term, that's how we understand change happens. And I hope more and more people who are in leadership roles in the Twin Cities and who are aspiring to be would know that walking your talk is a playbook you can get out of Laysha's manual.
I want to do things that are purpose-driven, that can have an impact, that can allow me to leave things better off than I found them, so that I'm in a position then to pass the baton and let others carry the next leg of the race and then make it better, and then they can do the same.